According to RBC, the housing correction may be over. Now, I'm well aware that the inflation numbers were actually slightly higher than the previous ones that came out, and that was unexpected. We thought they'd keep going down here. And we don't anticipate Bank of Canada is going to drop rates at all this year, with potential that maybe they could actually increase them. And overall payments and the affordability of buying real estate across this country has not changed, but prices have gone up for 5 months in a row. And the amount of sales happening and the price points that we've seen on a month-to-month basis has caused RBC to come out very, very recently and put out a report saying that they believe the housing correction may be over. My name is Tom Storey. I appreciate you being back here on this channel. I make educational real estate videos about the Canadian real estate market with a very, very specific focus on the city of Toronto. If you like this video, all I ask is hit that thumbs up button. That would be amazing. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and join our growing community. You can also go into the first link in the description and book a call with me at a time that works for you. And I guess the question is, how long do prices not have to be going down for us to say that a correction is over? And you've maybe even noticed watching my videos for the past 4 to 5 months is that I've been slightly skeptical, saying like, yeah, it's definitely getting better. It's nowhere near the craziness that it was, but is this going to last? And according to RBC, it is going to last because they believe that the correction is over. So we're going to talk about that in depth in today's video. So let's take a look at this article together and run through what they are saying. Sellers are back in the driver's seat in the Toronto housing market, RBC says. A housing correction that RBC once called historic, which by the way, it was historic. We saw a big drop off from the peak, appears to have run its course, and sellers are now back in the driver's seat in most major markets, a new report from the bank suggests. That initial statement is 100% true, especially in the city of Toronto. Sellers are back in the driver's seat based on the historically low inventory that we have. You are seeing offer dates come back rapidly for all property types. And the supply just versus the demand that exists right now just really not being there. A senior economist at RBC said that spring 2023 increasingly looks like the turnaround point for Canada's housing market after a year-long slump, with home sales across Canada rising 11.3% month over month in April. They went on to say that earlier tentative signs of a turnaround in Toronto and Vancouver were confirmed in a big way in April. This is where it's interesting. They said that home resales jumped 27%. And rolling back roughly 1/4 of the correction in one go. This is interesting because RBC had said as recently as December that the GTA market had become a buyer's market. Based on the numbers that we use to track with the months of inventory and taking active listings, dividing by sales, most of the GTA was not a buyer's market, even in December. It was in a balanced out territory. We're actively talking with buyers and sellers and looking at comparable sales data to try and make sense of the market right now. But if it's 2022, it's not very helpful. And the reason being is that we've seen upticks for 4, now 5 months in a row because May is going to look pretty good as well as those numbers officially come out. So RBC believes that the housing correction may be over, but what do you believe? Because I know, especially here on YouTube, there's a lot of people that think this is total crap and that the market's going to continue to go down. I'll tell you what I can tell you from the ground level. I'm not an economist. I'm not as smart as the people making these statements in these articles that come out. What I will tell you is that there is honestly no inventory right now. People are not selling. Sellers were told the market was bad, just like buyers were told the market was bad, and we don't have enough to choose from. People seem to be finding a way to buy properties at today's prices. A lot of them had family help or had equity from their previous property and is helping them move up the property ladder right now. And from my conversations with buyers and mortgage brokers, it seems like the most popular product right now for people is that 3-year fixed rate mortgage. So I'm hesitant to make the statement that the housing correction is over because there's another party here on YouTube that thinks this is just a big old dead cat bounce, but the cat's been bouncing for 5 months. Now, maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. I'm not really sure. What I will tell you is that this feels different. It doesn't feel silly. It doesn't feel stupid like it did in the beginning of 2022. It feels reasonable based on the inventory levels that we have. Demand is very much back. And more importantly than anything else, like it doesn't matter what I think. Buyers are back. Buyers want to purchase properties and they're looking at the prices and going, I want to get in now. Yeah, okay. It looks like it potentially bottomed out at some point end of last year. and I want to get in the market. There's one other chart I want to show you that I look at every single month when the Toronto Real Estate Board numbers come out. Now, this is showing you everything that has sold this year up to the end of April. So the May data is not out yet. So what we're looking at here is the sales by price range and house type. This is for GTA, so it's looking at detached, semi-detached, attached row, townhouses, condo, apartments. So if you go to the bottom here, you can see that there's been just under 10,000 detached homes sold this year. If we go all the way over to the right, there's been 22,000 total properties sold until the end of April. But I like to look at percentage of the market because this is showing where average price is coming from, which property types were selling and what was the average price point, right? So if you look at detached for the GTA, that represented 44% of the entire market with an average price, over $1.4 million. So of course the average price numbers are going to look inflated because these are the properties that are selling. Semi-detached is only 8.2% of the market. And then if you go over here to condos, they're representing 30% of the market with an average sale price of $700,000. I really enjoy looking at this data because then they break it down by price point, right? So if you look for detached properties over here on the side, the two active price points, $1 million to 1,249 and 1,250 to 1,499, there was over 2,000 sales in that range. If you want a detached property, sub 700,000, well, there's just really not that many that are actually happening. If we then come over here to condo apartments, the same thing. It's like the bulk of the condo sales, as they always have for the past at least 3 to 5 years, are happening between 500,000 and $700,000. These are the areas in which, although there's the most sales happening, we also need more inventory in these areas because it's obvious based on the demand, this is what people actually want to buy. So did RBC jump the gun by saying the housing correction is over, or are they totally right? Guess we'll have to see how the next few months plays out. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Tom Storey, and remember, home is where your story begins.